Good job.
Decision made yesterday by James Thrash, one of the two hearing officers jointly hired and appointed and paid by the NFL and the NFLPA to uphold the suspension of Bucs receiver Mike Evans. He will not play on Sunday against the Packers. His agent issued a statement, "We're disappointed. Other players have done worse, but we respect the decision." Well, if you're going to point out that other players have done worse, but you respect the decision, you really don't respect the decision, right? Here's why I disagree with the decision. Point A, point B, point C, point D, but we respect the decision. Come on, you can't do that. You can't have it both ways. They disagree. They think others have done worse. Well, maybe others have done worse and gotten away with it. I don't know.
Well,
but Evans did something. And look, it occurred to me yesterday, Chris. Let me just say this, and I'll let you go.
Yeah, all good.
Once the whistle blows, anything you do to another player on the field is no different than something you would do to him in the parking lot, right? The play is over. Anything you do after that should have a higher standard of what you expect and a lower bar to get you suspended. Because it's clear the play's over, and this is some fight that breaks out. He runs in out of nowhere, knocks Marshawn Lattimore on his ass, could have seriously injured him. That's why he got suspended. If there's any misunderstanding as to why Mike Evans got suspended, Mike, that's why you got suspended.
Yeah, and I want to, throw the challenge flag here and go, well, show what players have done a lot worse than this? What players this to me is this is as bad as it gets post whistles I've seen in a while. I can't remember one as bad.
Other than hitting somebody with a helmet.
Well, right, okay.
Over the head.
And that was practice. This is
No, I'm talking about Myles Garrett. I'm talking about Myles Garrett.
You're right, okay.
We've established there's nothing they can do about Aaron Donald because they don't have jurisdiction over practice.
But you're right.
They
So Myles Garrett,
if they could.
You're right. Myles Garrett is an all-timer. There's no question. After that, when you think about it, and I saw that comment, I was like, well, man, the last one I can think of that I thought was that egregious or that bad, where a guy was 25 yards away from something and then the play was over, like you said, and he ran over and just waylaid somebody. And I'm a really big fan of Mike
Evans.
Well,
it was him in 2017.
It's him
that was
again.
The last one.
Exactly. Him again. That's exactly where my mind went. I think the last time I remember anything like this was Mike Evans, or then maybe A.J. Green choke slamming Jalen Ramsey, right? Remember that after a play? Because Jalen was getting underneath his skin. And I believe that ended up in a suspension too. So, to me, it was warranted. I mean, to me, it was a no-brainer. When I saw that happen, I was like, oh, man, Mike Evans, well, he's done this again. He's done this before. I mean, we were all watching this live in the control room, and you're in your little, dark bunker hole in West Virginia during the game.
They don't put the lights on. I tell them to put the lights on. They don't put the lights on.
Well, we're losing money at NBC. They're trying to cut costs here. But either way, everybody was like, "Oh man, he's going to get suspended. He's going to get suspended." I mean, I don't think that was shocking news when that came out to people who follow the league on a regular.
It was November of 2017, by the way. A.J. Green was not suspended when he blew a gasket.
Oh, he wasn't.
Against Jalen Ramsey. And another mild-mannered receiver who otherwise is never an issue. We were talking about Andre Johnson yesterday and how he blew a gasket with Cortland Finnegan.
Right.
A.J. Green never says boo to anyone. He's goes about his work, part of the new age of receiver that isn't soaking up all the attention. He loses it on Jalen Ramsey. And what the Saints would say about Mike Evans is one of the reasons he has an issue with Marshawn Lattimore is, and I haven't gone back and tracked down the stats to confirm this, but just kind of colloquially within the Saints organization,
you're right.
Their take is Lattimore shuts him down.
He does.
That's why he gets pissed off.
No doubt. He is his kryptonite. I think Mike Evans is, phenomenal. We've had discussions. He's one of the most underrated wide receivers of the last 10 years. He's special talent. And it's part of the reason the Saints have been able to give the Buccaneers hard times is because they can go, hey, you take him, and now we can do crazy crap over here and take away some of the scheme and the other guys, and he's been very good that way. Lattimore is a bigger physical type of corner. So Mike Evans' 6'5" size doesn't, overpower him quite like it does other DBs. And there's definitely been that issue, and I think that's why there is that frustration. I think that's why A.J. Green got frustrated against Jalen Ramsey. He's a great talker, and he's a tough matchup for A.J. Green. Here, we were almost going to play it there.
There it is.
And
no, we got it. We got it.
Yeah.
Oh, control room's working on it.
All right, they're
all of a
working on
sudden-
it.
all
But
of a
either
sudden,
way,
there's
it's
a technical difficulty. But you saw the evidence. It's
Yes,
there.
yes.
It's lurking.
Right.
It's just a matter of time. Just like A.J. Green was lurking that day, and it was just a matter of time before he erupted on Jalen Ramsey. But, hey, I just hope Mike Evans understands what the problem is, what the issue is, and comports himself accordingly going forward. That's really the key. When he was talking about it in the locker room after the game, and he was almost talking like he didn't get suspended the last time, unless he was thinking about the other time in between that he didn't get suspended.
yeah, they've had a few scuffles.
So many of them.
Right.
You got a whole file of Mike Evans, Marshawn Lattimore incidents. But just the way that he was just kind of flippantly discussing it, it's like, this isn't good for Mike Evans because he doesn't understand why what he did was so egregious and unacceptable. At a time of unprecedented sensitivity to player health and safety, you can't have guys attacking others after the play has ended. And, Shefty still gets clowned for using the word assault when Myles Garrett hit Mason Rudolph over the head with his own helmet in a Thursday night Steelers-Browns game in Cleveland, by the way, 3 years ago. But it was. Anything that happens after the play is over is something that the league office has to be extra sensitive to. Now, you hit a guy over the head with his own helmet during the play, it's a problem as well. But it's once the play's over, that's when everybody's got to go their separate ways. And I know it's not easy to turn it on and turn it off and turn it on and turn it off, but that's what they expect. And there are certain things, especially once you've disengaged from the fray, to turn around and run back. When you're out of it, to run back to it.
Exactly.
That's got to get you suspended every time.
Yeah, that's right. That's where you weren't involved in this. You injected yourself, and I think and then you couple that with the history and all that, and the type of shot that really could hurt somebody. Again, I know these are football players and all that, but man, you knock him like that, he's not expecting. Who knows? He falls on somebody else's. His leg gets caught in the turf because somebody else is around him, and he's not. There's just that's why they got to be protective of this situation. And then, Mike, the other thing that just when you talk about this stuff too, you just go the effect of this football game. I think that's the fascinating part to me. Brady and Rodgers, the two old guys going at it. Right? And, the two old guys can still play. They're not Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. I can tell you that. They're not. But the other thing to this is, like, I think this could be a defensive struggle. I wouldn't be shocked if this game was 17-14 or something like that. The Packers, we know there are no weapons there to scare. It's a good Bucs defense. The Bucs offense beat up. No Mike Evans. Julio Jones, we know he'll probably be a Saturday decision as usual, right? Chris Godwin, I don't know. I would doubt that he's out there this week. I don't know where the status of that is, but they need to be careful. So I think you could see a game here where we're talking quarterback. This is awesome. It's Brady Rodgers, but I think it's going to end up being one of these defensive battles more or less now, especially without Evans in the ball game.
Well, and we see the way the Buccaneers would like to play football.
Definitely different,
Bowles.
right?
The difference. No risk it, no biscuit has gone out the window. Even though Bruce Arians still lurking on the sidelines, although we won't see him, I assume, so prominently because he's been warned by the NFL not to do that. Run the ball and play defense is the mantra under Todd Bowles. And, hey, keep the game under control. Keep Aaron Rodgers on the sideline. I expect it will be much lower scoring than what we've seen in the past. And, yes, Chris Godwin still did not practice with the hamstring. Russell Gage still has a hamstring issue. He was limited. Julio Jones, DNP, knee.
Shocker.
Scott Miller is now on the injury report with a calf injury. Brashad Perriman with a knee.
Yeah.
These receivers are banged up. It's one of the reasons they added Cole Beasley. But not having Mike Evans, you're right, huge issue for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.